We said a fond final farewell to the one and only Jimmy Greaves on Friday, October the 22nd, 2021 at Chelmsford Crematorium. The capacity was restricted to 200 when we could have filled Wembley Stadium with the many people wanting to pay their final respects to a lovable legend at a celebration of his remarkable life. There were warm, memorable words from his old friend Brian Doherty, a beautiful poem read by his sister Marion, Ave Maria sung by distinguished tenor John Pierce, and then a moving, amusing tribute on behalf of the family from son Andrew, who his dad called Dandy, always getting mixed up with older brother Danny. It was all conducted under the baton of caring celebrant Nigel Catchpole. I was privileged to be invited by Jimmy's wife Irene and her wonderful family to deliver this eulogy on behalf of Jimmy's many friends and army of admirers, and post it here as my lasting personal tribute to the Master, Jimmy Greaves. I'm privileged to be the spokesman for Jimmy's many friends, former teammates, television colleagues, and his army of fans around the country, as we say a final, fond farewell to my old mate of 64 years. I've been restricted to 700 words, but 7,000 would not do the great man justice. We'll be letting Jimmy down if we don't share a laugh or two at his memory in the celebration of his astonishing life. So with that in mind, let's remember for a moment just how great he was in the box. And Jim, never deadlier than today. He'd laugh loudest at that and wouldn't want any of us to be morbid and miserable. Jim was the great entertainer, whether with a ball at his feet or a microphone at his lips, and he brought pleasure and sunshine into the lives of millions. A national treasure. Arise, Sir Jim. That should have been the cue for Jimmy to leap up and shock us all with 2 fingers to the establishment. It's a funny old game. We all know and admire what Jimmy achieved on the football field with Chelsea, AC Milan, 9 incredible years with Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham, and of course England, and later non-league clubs such as Brentwood, Chelmsford and Barnet. There are plenty of his old teammates here today who I know will agree with my assessment that Jimmy was simply the greatest British goalscorer of all time. You have to be way over 50 to have seen him at his peak. He was like Messi with bells on, and I'm not sure the modern master could do it on the mud-heaped pitches that Jimmy's generation played on, and with the likes of Bite Your Legs Hunter and Ron Chopper Harris trying to kick him up in the air. After getting off the Football Express at the ridiculously young age of 31, Jimmy had the character and discipline, with Irene's motivation, to overcome a slight hiccup in his life. He then reinvented himself as a brilliant broadcaster, loved and admired for his irreverent wit and wisdom, alongside Ian St. John on the groundbreaking St. and Greavesy show. He was also hugely popular on TV AM, and happiest up in the Midlands with his central TV pals. Jim was prouder of this period of his life than what he did in football, but which he was a natural genius. He had to learn the TV business from scratch and became a master communicator, mixing humour with biting, no-holds-barred opinions. He suffered from chronic dyslexia and could not rely on the autocue. So what we got every time he was on our screens was the raw, real Jimmy. And everybody, from kids to grannies, loved him. He was never ever fazed, whether it was sharing a ring with Iron Mike Tyson, a fairway with Seve Ballesteros, taking the P out of Donald Trump, or causing mischief with his best mate Bobby Moore. Two lovable rascals together. What a team they've got up there now. It says everything for Jimmy's stature that he was never overshadowed by all the megastars he mixed with, yet he remained modest and unassuming. I bet not one of you ever heard him boast, but he had so much to boast about. Then, when television chiefs prematurely decided his face no longer fitted, the idiots, he converted to stand-up comedy and impressed with his professional delivery in a series of roadshows with his longtime friend and agent, Terry Baker. Anybody who ever saw him on stage will confirm that he was as funny as any of the top comedians, whether on stage, screen or football pitch. Jimmy always scored. No question about his greatest triumph. That's his fantastic family here today, and they will testify that he was a loving brother, uncle, dad, granddad and great-granddad, and the best pal his girl Irene ever had. Irene, you were his rock and pulled him through. God, how you pulled him through life's traumas, and he loved you, heart and soul. Jimmy had a lousy last few years following his stroke, and only the support of Irene and their wonderful kids, Lynn, Mitzi, Danny and Andy, kept him sane. But you don't judge a 90-minute match by the injury time. Judge Jim over the full 90 minutes, and he had a fabulously full life, and we were so lucky he shared much of it with us. We were all privileged that he passed our way, a 24-carat gold legend. We'll never see his like again, and I'll leave you with this memory of something heard a record 357 times in First Division matches. Goal! It's Jimmy Greaves!